Oh, hi. My name is Soren. Was someone asking about me? Was it my ex? Shade? No? Okay, well, up until recently, I was a bartender in Germany while studying philosophy in my free time. As I'm sure you can imagine, it was very surprising to me to discover that I was actually one of the Wisle from the Order of the Vance here in Saint-Turin. When I was pulled back, I decided to continue my study of philosophy and found that it had even more meaning when viewed in the context of the invisible sun and the structure of the universe. I have dedicated myself to the study of the true nature of things and their true names. Shortly after returning, I was reunited with my childhood best friend, Lucas, and am very glad for their friendship as we all try to recover after the war. Ah, the war. What a delightful mystery it is. I would love to learn the true nature of that someday. But for now, I will continue my studies, read in my free time, and... Oh yeah, I liked bartending so much I picked up a few evening shifts. You know, just for fun.
Why, hello. Have you come to me from the Pale, wayward spirit? You may call me Lucas. I study the veil between life and death, and how these energies may be tapped into by those in the waking world. No, I am no member of any schools or circles or cloisters. I'm an independent researcher, an apostate. That is why I am able to devote so much of my time to my meditation and research without interruption. You see, in my youth, I was preparing to join one of the magical institutions, but the war. It interrupted my studies. Yes, I went to ground for some time, to the land of shadow. I found myself in a place called Boston. It was quaint, if not a bit rough around the edges. My memories from those days are hazy at best. I've only recently returned here to Saturine now, which is just as well. My time away has given me newfound vigor and a specific focus for my talents as a Wisle. For my part, I hope to study a way to travel back and forth freely between the realms of the living and that of the dead. Perhaps, if I am lucky, I may find a way to bring back those who have crossed over in death. Though I remain uncertain of one particular fact. Do those from the realm of shadow find their way to walk beneath the pale sun? I hope to uncover this truth, for my own sake.
Oh, how embarrassing for you. My sister should be just around the corner. I'm sure that's who you meant to find. No? Interesting. You may call me Soraya. Manners would dictate I ask for your name in return, but I have no desire to know the name of someone I will likely never again acknowledge. I'm sorry, were you expecting a friendlier interaction? What an awkward assumption to make. I'm afraid there's not much to know about me. I spent most of my time in the shadow maintaining the ledgers for some of my sister's more illicit activities. I didn't particularly want to get involved, but I always did have a hard time saying no to Shade. Here in Fartown, my loyalty remains unchanged. Despite our very different social preferences, there is nothing I wouldn't do for her. And I do mean nothing. While she breaks hearts everywhere she goes, I much prefer the company of the demonic beings I summon. They have proven to be far less exasperating. Don't be mistaken, I do have a few select companions. I just don't have time for insipid fools, which, quite frankly, is the majority of the general population. There are many things I wish to accomplish, things that I have no intention of sharing with a stranger I just met, but I can assure you my endeavors keep me busy, and as such I care very little for idle conversation, which, coincidentally enough, is exactly what this has been.
Hi, I'm Scheherazade, more commonly known as Shade. But let's be honest, you probably already knew that. Why yes, this is my party. Ignore my brooding sister in the corner. She would prefer that. Before we came back to Fartown, Soraya and I lived quite the life in Mexico City, where I made the most interesting friends. I developed quite a habit of eliminating anyone who made trouble for me or my sister. So my work in the city was simple, easy, straightforward. Nothing like the life I returned to here. I was able to bring back my most prized possession, my Colt Python. Yes, that's a gun. And no, I'm not afraid to use it. But you don't have to worry about that. We're friends, right? Maybe more. Who knows? I do have a lot of friends. Even still, there are some problems my trusty Colt and itchy trigger finger can't fix. Recently, I've had something taken from me. Something I can't live without. And I will weave the deepest depths of darkness and the hottest fires of hell to get it back. Anyone who can help me will earn a loyal companion. Anyone who stands in my way, well, you know what they say. Old habits die hard.
Hi, I'm Alana Albion. I just returned to Satyrine not too long ago. I'm finding it a bit difficult to acclimate, if I'm being honest. This world, it's so different than the peaceful life I left behind in Shadow. Everything here is so terrifying, so strange. Walking words, angels on street corners, malicious mirrors. Some days I find myself paralyzed with fear and indecision as I face new choices. What I should do, how I should live. It becomes so much that I break, shatter, into 1,000 literal pieces before I gather the strength to reform. I know I lived a life here before the war, but I view things differently now. I'm not the same as I once was. While I struggle to reacclimate to the strangeness of this world, there are a couple things that still make sense, that bring comfort. Weaving magic comes as easy to me now as it did before, and my gardening hobby from Shadow not only helped me find a job, but also brought some peace. Not to mention I've got a few friends, new and old, and they're certainly making the slow transition easier. But my heart aches for those who I left behind in my old life. I know I could go back to Shadow. Nothing is stopping me. I can go back to my peaceful life in the cabin, with Peanut, with Lycia. But I can't in good consciousness go back to something I know didn't exist.
Invisible Sun is a tabletop role-playing game developed by Monty Cook Games. In this system, players portray spellcasters called Visley in a surreal, fantastic setting as they adjust to their new lives in the aftermath of a terrible conflict known only as the War. Players in Invisible Sun control the narrative by pursuing their own individual character arcs to achieve story goals and advance their characters in power and skill. The GM reacts to how the players interact with the world and influences each character's story via the Sooth deck, a set of cards that represent shifts in both the in-game currents of magic and the narratives crafted by the players. There are 9 suns in Invisible Sun, and each sun represents a facet of reality. Together with the dark, these suns form the known universe, the actuality. 8 of these suns are organized in an ordered path, and the 9th, Invisible Sun, shines light throughout the actuality. We would know the light from the Invisible Sun as magic. After seeking refuge from the war in the shadow of the Grey Sun, a land of falsehoods and illusions, which we as players, GMs, and viewers would call our world, our main characters return home to the world under the indigo sun of truth, in the post-war magical metropolis of Satyrine. The city, much like the player characters, is in the process of rebuilding after the war. 17 districts of Satyrine remain, separated by large swaths of desolate cityscape called Ruined Expanses. Within the city, our story takes place in the pocket dimension of Fartown, Satyrine's Visley district, the most magical part of a deeply magical city. Under the light of the Sun of Truth, our players will relearn what it means to be Vizsla. They will recover pieces of themselves lost to an apathetic world. They will reclaim their lives. Welcome to the actuality. Welcome to Reclamations. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was muted. Anyway, welcome back to Invisible Sun. We had a couple of weeks off for random reasons between the cast, but now we're back. I know I'm excited to be back. And I don't think I have anything pressing to say at the beginning of the stream today. So I will ask that you forgive me for the dog in the background if you hear him. But also, I will pass off in character recap duty to Lucas, as we are very close to completing their arc.
Oh. Well, the most pertinent thing to keep in mind is I have been tasked with retrieving a talking glass of wine, which resides squarely within the ruined district of Saturnine. I am told that the trip might be quite hazardous. However, I do not believe that there's any reason to let that slow us down or halt progress towards our end goal. And by our, I mean mine. My companions have volunteered themselves to come with me, it seems, to an extent. I would never ask that of them, but it seems that regardless of that fact, asking is not necessary. Let's see. Once I get that wine, I will give it to a painting. And the painting will kill my enemies. Presumably. That seems to be what the agreement was. Other than that, honestly, I was a little distracted last time we all got together. Something about summonings and binding circles. It kind of made things a little more difficult for me, but I feel like everything that's pertinent to my interests has been conveyed.
All right, then before we get back into things, I will quickly play our first Sooth card for tonight. Okay, on the Silver Sun, we play the Tyrannical Clock. The Invisible Sun, magic of the Invisible Sun is enhanced and no magic is hindered. Value 6, notions, cats, clocks, and wind. If those are associated with your heart, you have a +1 to all of your adventures until the next pull. And our meanings are oppression, time, countdown, schedule, and repetition. So where are we all meeting today?
I'm up for meeting anywhere.
Perhaps Alana's house is the closest option. It could be.
Is Alana's house just the central hub for all of us?
I feel like it is, especially if we're not meeting in like the evening when I could get a drink at Soren's.
Well, for the record, if you're in the bar, they're not going to stop you from getting a drink.
I know, but I don't... That's fair.
There's a reason I chose to live here.
We can meet at Alana's, though.
Yeah, oh yes, I feel like that is, perhaps the most convenient place to go today.
Are you meeting me inside or outside the toy shop? Do you want to deal with Mrs. Nusselt today?
No, absolutely not.
I will wave from the outside, just, faintly.
I like her more than most people. But
She's
we
a
can-
delightful lady. I don't
Uh,
understand why some of you don't like her.
I don't know if that's...
She hates me.
I don't understand why.
I do.
She seems to dislike me as well.
We'll meet outside.
Can I cast sending? I'm just kidding.
Alex, you're muted. Alex?
You're muted.
Alex.
I'm doing great, everybody. I'm doing great.
Damn it.
Okay, Alana, on your way out of the shop, I'm assuming that at least some of you can be seen from the from inside the store through the windows. So as you're heading out, you see Mrs. Nusselt with her little human hands sitting on top of the counter. And for those of us at home, Mrs. Nusselt is a naked cat with human hands and feet, and is covered in ants with a
The
tail
centipede
that turns
tail.
into a tail that turns into a millipede as it goes back.
No.
I
And
love
8
her. She's
eyes
so
arrayed
sweet.
like a spider.
And she's pretty
and
big.
she's
She's
also-
like 20 pounds.
She's pretty big. Yeah, she's big.
Chunky.
But yeah, Alana, on your way out, you see Mrs. Nusselt with her little human hands flipping through what, if you looked closely enough, you would notice to be your contract for living here. And as you pass by, she's just like, I'm just seeing if you're allowed to have more than one pet. I don't remember if we agreed to that. And she's like side-eyeing Shade with her 8 spider eyes.
If she doesn't live here, I do not see the problem.
Oh, Alana, do you want to get a leash for me?
Are you outside or did you come in? Because I'm still inside.
That's in your head. I don't know.
You imagine her.
Whatever. I just wanted to say it.
I will commence as if I did not hear that. Have a nice day, Mrs. Nusselt.
You too, dear.
And I will rock right outside.
Yeah, sure. You go right
And
outside, and there's the rest of the group, I imagine.
Hi everybody.
Was Mrs. Nussel talking shit about me again?
Yes.
Oh, gotta love character consistency.
I don't know why she doesn't like you.
I can't imagine either.
And as I walk
I have
outside,
a few reasons.
we're going to the Ruined Expanses today, I'm assuming, right?
I assume. Yes.
I will.
So as I come outside, there's a couple things different about me today. The first one, it's 3 things specifically. The first one, probably no one notices except Shade. Especially as I take your hand and I'll lace my fingers through your hand. I'm not wearing my wedding ring. I have it. It's around a chain on my neck, but I'm not wearing it.
I will give your hand a squeeze.
The second one, I'm wearing like a dark blue leather jacket. It's nice, but it's not typically my style. 3, I walk out, and on my hip, I have a sword wrapped in black leather and silver filigree. And you've all seen it in my house. But seeing it not in its display case versus actually on me is a stark contrast, and it might not have clicked how big this thing is. It is easily 4.5 to 5 feet long from pommel to tip.
Alana, do you have a license to wield that thing?
I figured it would be a good idea to be prepared.
Cool jacket. I could have swore you found this in my closet. I'm not offended.
No, this was specially purchased.
I've also got a shiny new jacket. Look, I like puff it up. It's like a dark leather with spikes all over it. Black, of course. Like my soul.
Are we ready?
If your fashion show is over, then yes, I think we're ready.
Fuck you, you're just mad we're more fabulous than you are.
I'm
But
really
look
not.
at my clothing. See, it is
No.
It's very nice. Look, you see, it's a
No.
brown coat. It's lovely. I've got
Looking-
a nice burgundy vest on. It's the same one I wear every day.
You look so dapper as usual, Soren.
Staring at Lucas.
I thought for sure we were doing this. Are we not comparing clothes?
I changed my clothes today.
Can you do that?
Yes. Is there... Are you implying I don't change my clothes?
I'm implying that you're dead.
I mean,
Pardon me.
technically.
I'm just as alive as the rest of you.
Wait,
Maybe.
are you alive today?
What kind of question is this?
I'm gonna reach out and poke a shoulder. Poke their shoulder.
My shoulder gently goes back as you poke me. Is that quite necessary?
Are you possessing your own body right now?
Apparently it. Oh, are you doing that? That's a thing.
I would know.
No. No, I am not.
So you're not. To answer your question, obviously it is, because getting a straight answer out of you is apparently otherwise not an accessible thing without action.
What?
I figured this was important enough to do in person. So here I am.
In your words, being a ghost would have been in person too.
Well, you all seem hung up on the whole corporeal part of things, so I figured I'd make this easier for all of you.
There's a pun here. I'm not gonna make it though. Are we quite ready?
God, I hope so.
Yeah. Let's go.
Do we know where we're going?
I think
We know where we're going.
we have to
Yeah,
leave.
you had a
We have the map. Yeah.
I think the easiest way is to leave Fartown, leave the Hollows, and head to the Indigo Rail Station.
Should we take the bus?
You know the bus doesn't go to the rail station.
I'm just
God
I'll
knows what happened last time you took the bus.
I'll follow you wherever you go, Alana.
Goodness, they're doing that again.
No, it's just Shade doing it again, and I'm tolerating it.
You think it's cute.
Yeah, but we have stuff to do.
You also tolerate that weird cat.
What's wrong with Percival?
No. Your landlady.
No, also Percival.
What's wrong with them?
Right, on
They're
we
both
go.
lovely.
Let's go.
Nope, we're done.
As you proceed throughout Fartown, discussing the merits of the various cats in your lives. Fartown is a pocket dimension, and there is one way out. It is a large archway, which, looking through, you would only see like the rest of Fartown. It's like just like a freestanding arch, and there is no indication visually that this is how you leave Fartown. And yet you see people just passing in and out with regularity and utter indifference. And it's probably something that you've done many times. Couple of things happen as you pass through the gate to Fartown. I don't know if any of you have done this in a while, but it is a very common experience as someone leaves the gate to Fartown to feel like they're being watched a little bit. And while you're all probably to some extent familiar with that feeling, you're also keenly aware of something else. It's almost like a malevolence and anger that has not been there before as you've passed through the gate to Fartown. If you had been watched before, it was from a distance, and now you are being watched intently. And also, as you head out, you find yourself in a district of the city known as the Hollows. The Hollows is a absolutely terrible part of town. It is not a lot of steps better than a ruined expanse itself. It is there's a lot of crime that goes on here. A large river sort of cuts through the center of the district. The only problem is this river smells awful. So you come out into this dark, dull, dingy gray place with like boarded up windows and like trash all over the street, and it's just really rough part of town. But fortunately, you don't have to stay in the Hollows for very long, as you can just head straight on up. There's basically a rail station like across the street, and you can basically just head right on up there and get on a rail that would cost all of you probably 2 crystal for the entire lot of you, whoever would want to pay that, or if you want to split it. But you eventually find yourselves on the above ground railway of Satyrine, which from an outsider's perspective would be absolutely terrible. This thing does these weird, bizarre loops and twists and turns. It occasionally will run the rail straight through a building or directly down into the ground. But the train never really stops, and it doesn't collide with these things. And by all accounts, sitting inside the train, it's not like a Harry Potter night bus situation. It is a smooth and blissful ride.
As we are traveling on the train, like right after we get on, so as ruined expanses, very dangerous. I figured I can cast some protection magic, get some armor on everybody, and hopefully it'll last a little bit, and I can use the train ride to relax.
Whatever makes you feel better. By the way, I would have picked up the tabs for everyone to get on board, because this is my treat for everyone coming along.
Well, Lucas, I know you don't have a problem with turning into a ghost, but I'm sure some of us others do.
Like I said, whatever makes you feel better about this whole thing.
I don't want to be a ghost.
I'm already dead.
I would like you to not be permanently dead. So I will weave together protection and strength to give everyone armor. +1 armor.
Does that stack with anything that we're currently wearing?
It'll, as my magic seeps into you, it toughens your skin.
And mechanically, that does stack. Armor stacks unless it makes sense not to. So if you're trying to wear 2 jackets, it's not going to stack, because that's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
But, Alana, do you want to roll all of your depletion rolls on that now?
Yeah,
we'll say
I'll do
check.
that.
I'll say check every hour depletion on 0 to 1. While you do that, I'm going to pull a Sooth card as Jade notices somebody familiar sitting in the car with them.
And I'll use this 1 hour train ride to take an hour rest to get my sorcery back.
Yes. Yeah. Let me quickly pull up the card we pulled. We have pulled the Incriminating Skull. Dun, dun, dun. God, this one got me. Secrets, Ravens, Books, and Flame. If those are associated with your heart, you have a +1 to all of your ventures until the next card pull. Magic of the gold is enhanced, and magic of the silver is diminished. Meanings: disaster, discovery, evidence, connections, friends, and or family. Shade, as you're sitting in your in the train car enjoying what is a very pleasant ride, you notice that you are joined by the ambassador, who is sitting across from you, sort of drinking coffee.
Just as a reference for everybody, I rolled really well. The +1 armor will last 8 hours.
Nice.
Yes.
All right.
At the ambassador.
Yeah, she looks the same as always. You know, before she met you, she used to take a lot of different forms, but at least as far as you have kept interacting with her, she appears largely the same. But she sort of like waves at you. Hey, we should probably talk a bit.
Great. Perfect timing. Let's,
Do you want me to come with you?
Nope. Okay. Thanks, though. I'll go with her to the back of the car.
Yeah. At the back of the car, she sort of like leans in and starts whispering. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to smooth this one over, but the Empress is mad. She's like big mad.
Big mad. Okay.
Big mad.
At what? What could she be mad about?
You know, she seems to think that you belong in the Pale, and I'm not disagreeing with her, but not blaming you for wanting to live a little first.
You know, I don't disagree with her either. I'm just, you know, just a little more time is what I need. Is there, like, something
I can give you 2 weeks. That's the best I can do. Because
I'm watching this conversation intently from like across the train.
Because
the alternative is that she sends somebody else to collect you. It's probably going to be somebody
not as
nice.
Not as cute as you are either, I'm sure.
Just sort of giggles and blushes.
Two weeks.
2 weeks.
That sounds great. Will you come to collect me then?
I mean, if you haven't solved your problem by that point, then I will try to be there.
Perfect.
Sorry.
It's been a long time coming, Ambassador.
Well, for what it's worth, I hope you figure out what you need to get figured out.
You know, I look back at my sister, and then back at the Ambassador. Whatever is meant to be will happen. Won't it?
I guess so.
In the meantime,
I keep telling myself.
You should come and call on us at the dungeon. No reason why we can't have a little bit of fun before things are over.
Keep that in mind. I'd see you in your 3 days.
Yeah. Well, I have to get back before they start whispering. Somebody let a dog on the street? Oh my gosh.
The ambassador is just like sort of nods. Well, good luck.
Mm-hmm. I'll kind of straighten up my jacket and walk back.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The rest of you see that the body of the ambassador just sort of like vanishes, and all of the clothes just like drop to the ground and like spin themselves into a little like ball and basically fold into themselves until there's nothing left to fold, and then all traces of her and her clothing are gone.
Well, that was very cool. And I will go back to petting the dog further up on the train.
While they're talking, I look past Alana. And I look past Soraya in turn. What do you suppose they're talking about?
Well, you were there when we bumped into her when we brought baby Shade to Emma.
Yes, but I try not to eavesdrop.
Probably how long she has left here.
Oh, quaint. How long do you think?
Soraya,
Long enough.
how much longer do you think we need to get the ritual up and running?
We need a few more things. But I suppose we should. You haven't really been putting anything off. I suppose I should stop putting off our search for an ardent. And by search, I mean conversation to acquire one.
As soon as we're done in the expanses, we'll go see Pontiff. If you don't want to say anything, unless there's a question, let's just get it over with and rip the Band-Aid off.
I hate people.
I know. You know she's not going back. She's staying right here.
I know.
I will
Now-
go sit down.
When you get back, I hold your hand very tight.
I just stare at you.
Well, she's a lovely lady. Wait, do I know their gender? She?
The ambassador kind of goes with whatever gender they appear as. Technically, you don't think they're really a person.
Oh.
But they use she when they appear as a woman, basically.
She's always a delight. Two weeks.
Let's get it done in one.
Easy enough.
Yeah, totally. So what do we need to know about the ruined expanses, Alana?
Besides that, apparently they're really dangerous and we could die.
Again.
Or permanently.
Don't have to leave the train.
Hate fists, usually.
Yes, we do. So what exactly...
Couldn't tell you what they are except they're dangerous and the form and danger changes too.
Fantastic.
Proof of destruction though is like what? A lot.
Good.
If we're lucky, play our cards right, we can try and avoid them.
Or I
When
could...
you say a lot, do you mean like we get paid money if we bring one back, or do you so like bounty hunting?
Oh god.
Hey!
If we're bored on the way back, and all I'm saying is maybe we think about it.
They're also extremely dangerous.
Oh, so are we, honey.
I'd rather us still be alive to do the ritual.
I think you underestimate yourself, as usual.
Focus isn't on me now.
I'm just saying.
Right, it's on the giant sword strapped to your hip.
How do you even sit with that thing?
Right?
I probably have it like across my lap. I don't have it like down.
AKA across like 3 people's laps.
I imagine you'd be holding it like on.
Yeah,
like
I'm
this.
probably holding it up.
like you're like a cane.
I would prefer to get in and out as fast as possible and get this wine glass.
Especially since we have other deadlines we need to consider.
I'm just saying I'm not going to be disappointed if we find one.
We can always go back.
If the wine glass is out of the way, I can always fetch it myself.
It's not out of the way. We're on the way. It is the way. This is the way.
That was weirdly poetic and I don't know how I feel about it.
Before I forget to, and after we get off the train, I have one more spell I'd like to cast on everybody. I did physical protection, but I also have an incantation for mental.
Alana, buffing us up. Do you think we're gonna die?
I would prefer we don't.
Well, half of this party's already been dead, so it's
Soraya
not an
has a point.
unreasonable fear to have.
Yeah, but I can't say nobody has died recently.
Hold up. Half?
Kind of is, though.
2 out of 5.
Approximately.
Not half.
40%.
It's closer to half than it is to 0 or 100%.
Yeah, sure, that's true. 70 is closer to 100, but I wouldn't say everybody.
Well, they didn't. They said half.
Well, Soraya might count. Her soul is dead half the time.
Alana!
He's not wrong.
I'm going to...
Honey! I give her a
Away.
high five.
I don't return the high five. I'm just looking away.
I give it to myself. Killer. Alright, well.
I take 3 steps away from everyone else, but primarily from Soraya.
Oh, I'm just staring at Alana, and there's like this blank face. I can't do it. I'm too delighted. There's this blank face, and then there's like the slightest quirk at the corner of her mouth, and then she'll look away.
I'll just smile at you.
If you'd like, we can find one of those cysts on the way back.
That is actually sounding more appealing now.
So one, is there anything else anybody would like to do on this train ride?
Pet the dog.
Pet the dog.
You pet the dog.
I don't want to pet the dog.
You do not pet the dog.
I pet the dog. I am a dog person. I pet the freaking dog.
Pet the dog.
Is this like a typical dog, or is it like the cats that we see?
I don't know. I did not introduce this dog into the story. So Camille, what does our dog look like?
Is
Or
it
train
Max?
dog.
This dog looks fascinating. It's actually it looks like a regular dog. The fun thing about it is it's actually riding on a suitcase. The suitcase just floats in air and it doesn't have to go anywhere. One leg is kind of hanging off. Its tail is gently wagging. It's got a collar that reads Skillet. Its name is Skillet. And it's a black dog. And it just rides on this suitcase.
It's just the dog. No owner.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it can speak, but it prefers to bark for attention. If you'd like to see
There we
my
go.
inspiration, I have stolen it from the internet. I will post it in general chat.
That's canon.
Come join our Discord.
But also, Soraya, knowing that you were heading out on a dangerous excursion, so to speak, would you have summoned anything to protect you or aid you? in any way?
I was gonna ask, do I how long do my summons stick around? They only stick around for an hour though, right?
They stick around for an hour when you are first degree. When you get up to second,
fancy.
they stick around for longer. I want to say it's a day now. Don't
Oh my
quote me on that.
gosh! Then yes, let's summon a
so
demon.
I'm gonna say it's a day.
Okay.
Because whether
I
it's
just
a day, or 8
that's the only
hours
reason
makes
I
no
wasn't.
difference.
I didn't I don't know what. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I would like to summon
You can summon up to level 5 now.
I'm just gonna summon a guard.
Sure.
And I'm gonna summon it up to, let's go ahead. Why not? Wait, what does the level do in life? Like, is it gonna be, it's fine. I'm just really annoyed with everything. Let's try to summon it. Let's level 5 it. Let's level 5
All right,
it.
sure.
That seems
Sure.
scary and terrifying. Let's do it.
Okay, so
After we create a protective circle.
yes. So we're gonna actually quickly flash back to when you summoned this creature.
Okay.
because it's a long process. So here's the thing: if you take, I think it's like 1 hour per level of the demon to summon it, you get an extra +2 to your negotiations.
Oh.
So that is one way you could go to make summoning a level 5 creature easier. But yeah, you summon this level 5 demon. At first, you after you complete what you would consider to be your summoning magic, you stand there and you're like nothing's there. The only indication that you get something that something is there is like all of a sudden your pulse just starts going, and you know that even if you can't see something, you're definitely in the presence of something.
That's a really cute trick, but this is not how I prefer to do negotiations. Do you mind?
You feel your pulse starting to slow down.
So I need you to do something for me. My friends and I are going to, oh God, I can't believe I just said that. We're going to this place. It's apparently very dangerous. There's a chance we might die. And I just need you to not let anything kill me or my friends. That would be ideal. God, I said it again. Can I, it won't, it can't, I can't, I don't think I can. It just watches over me.
I'll say that it watches over everybody.
Okay.
I think it's trivial.
Okay.
Otherwise.
Sure.
So are you trying to persuade it or bribe it?
I am. What I would really like to do is kind of get a feel for what the response is when I initially give this without really trying to persuade or bribe. And then if I don't get a response, I would like to lower my voice because I don't know where this demon is, but I know it's here. Look, it's been a very, very long couple of weeks, and I really don't have time for this shit. So, you have two options. You can do as I say now, quietly and without complaint, or whatever corner of hells that you came from, I will make sure whatever it was, this is far worse. Do we have a deal?
So I think we're trying to intimidate it.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your first task.
So
your venture will start at 2.
So what is, if I'm skilled in this, what does that mean? Do I just add that?
If you're skilled in
intimidation.
I would say persuasion. You are skilled in intimidation. Oh yeah, that's right. So that would add another +1 to the venture. So your venture would start at 3.
2. My intimidation.
Oh,
level
you're
is 2.
right. Yes, you are absolutely right. So yeah, your venture would start at 4, and if you spend 1 interaction bene, you would not need to roll.
Let's just spend the bene, because why not? Right. It's there. Hang out.
Yeah. So there are 2 intimidation tasks to the entire summoning, so you need to spend 2 total to not have to roll on either roll. But yeah, so what happens is that your pulse starts to slow down as you begin to describe the task, and then as you start to threaten it, you feel like it's maybe no, wait, that's not my pulse speeding up. That's the equivalent of the demon's pulse speeding up. You feel just this vibration in the air, and this thing that you still cannot see sort of wraps you like a cloak, and you can feel yourself wearing this demon, and it is definitely protecting you.
Fantastic. I love a good deal.
All right, and if no one else has anything to do on the train or any other flashback preparations to make, it takes you probably about only an hour or so to get from the Hollows to an area of town known as the Confederacy of Cloisters. This is sort of the religious center of Satyrine, and is very eclectic because there is no real centralized religion to anything. As you hop off the train, the first structure you see is this towering black cathedral. You would know this as the primary location for the Church of Midnight. This is an organization that I won't say worships demons, but they work with demons a lot. And they're actually, like not all that bad. They do a lot of like good community service type stuff, and they have therapists and like mental health people. Like they're pretty good demon people. But that's the first structure you see, is this enormous ostentatious thing, and it is by far the largest structure in this district of Satyrine. And as you head off, you see dozens of other symbols and indications of religion. You'll see these packs of priests and clergy people, all dressed uniformly, walking silently in a line straight in one way. You see members of this strange organization walk by with these blank, faceless white masks, just sort of like standing on the street corner, just kind of like looking at people as they go by. Not that you can see their eyes or know what they're looking at, but you know they're looking at you. And so that's sort of the gist of the place you find yourself in, until you walk further and further towards the edge of the district, further away from the central urban area, and find yourself looking out at a great big expanse of ruin. It seems like nature has taken over a lot of what you see ahead of you. Trees and plants and things are growing at a fairly reasonable pace, given how long it's been since this place was a battleground. But yeah, you see this sort of like wild area with these blasted out buildings and other ruins that nature is slowly beginning to take back.
Before we go out and start our search, I have one more spell. It'll help against any mental attacks. Please bear with me as I cast this spell. It does require a bit of talking. I need to share an intimate experience, and yeah.
Oh?
I'm not gonna go like that, Shade. Please get your head out of the gutter.
Why? It's such a good place.
So I had a hard time thinking of an intimate experience, so I figured I'd make the discussion I am going to say now an intimate experience, and just to share some things after some revelations. And as I'm talking, like, my words fall out of my mouth and like begin to like go around all of us. So I think really the only one who really knows this is Shade. I was married in Shadow, and I've kind of been hung up on her. I'm sure you noticed how weird I was acting at the Hindasa. I don't know how much all of you were listening, but she wanted to bring someone she cared about back from... She wanted to bring back a lie, and I thought she could bring back my wife if I talked to her. So I went and talked to her. She's very nice. Very dedicated to her research. Very, very Vance-like, actually, Soren. But just talking to her, I realized as I looked at her, I saw myself. She was obsessed. So I think it's time to walk away. And I just kind of leave it there. And as the spell finishes, the words kind of seep into everyone's skin, and you all get +2 armor against mental damage.
I will just tuck a little bit of your hair behind your ear.
I think we're all ready to head out.
I think we are ready to head out. Did I hear a cat? I do hear a cat. It's Mrs. Nussel. No. So as we head out into the Ruin of Camanthus, I will play our third Sooth card on the Blue Sun. Yes, that is the Blue Sun. We play the Swan, which is the companion card to Visions, Swans, Blades, and Water. So if that is your heart, you have a +1 to all of your ventures. If your thing is Secret Raven, Books and Flames, you also have a +1 to all of your ventures because the companion card duplicates the effects of the last card. So, yeah, I'm not going to repeat those because I'm doing my best. Value of 6, meaning good fortune, good weather, latent talents, and gold magic is still enhanced and silver magic is still hindered. So you begin to head out into the ruined expanses. And for a while, it's nothing more than just uncomfortable. This is very clearly an area that hasn't been tended to in any way for a long time. And so anything that was once a street or a footpath or anything like that has long fell into just utter disrepair if it hasn't just been absolutely broken by whatever happened here during the war. The further and further you get out, the less you pay attention to the sort of like terrible infrastructure around you, and the more you would have to probably keep your eyes out for the things that call this place home. For a while, you are followed by this thing that looks like an old man in a way. So what it is you see like the torso of like this emaciated old guy, sort of like walking on one hand with his fingers like this. In the other hand, he's holding up by the like stringy old gray hair, the head of this torso. And the rest of the torso sort of goes up as it goes back, and you just see spine just trail out of it up and sort of fades into ether. And you're followed by this creature for a good bit.
How long are we followed?
Why?
Does it say or do anything besides
Hour
just
or two.
How
look
close?
disturbing?
It doesn't really do much more than look at you for now. As far as how close, it varies. Sometimes it's like way far the fuck back there. Other times you like walk by a building and there it is holding the head looking at you right through the window.
What the
So
hell?
it varies.
God.
Like, within the first 30 minutes, I'm like menacingly staring at it, like trying to give it like a thing to like leave us alone.
Yeah, it's looking at you with this sort of dopey, vacant grin.
Is that what you were talking about? The thing that we probably would get a lot of money for if we killed it?
I don't know. Hate cysts, from what I understand, there is no common structure or visual. It changes. They change. It could also just be an old man that's following us.
Interesting.
Do we know what hate cysts look like?
I would say that you can't really know. They're all unique. Nobody even knows which side of the war made use of them. So they're just all these terrible things. I will say that by and large, that would probably require some sort of knowledge roll for that. But yeah, you can't really know what they look like.
Well, so long as it leaves us alone, there's no need to bother it. Let's see. I pull the map up and look at it. I wasn't really paying attention. How far have we gone?
Oh, God.
Oh, wait, yes, I'm sorry. I was just confused by the scale. I think we're on course. And I just kind of scan. Point idly. That way? I think that way. Yeah, that way looks good.
Do you know how to read a map?
Of course I do. Does everyone question whether I can read a map or whether I'm alive or...
Because the answers often change.
Depending on the situation, yes, but I can read a map.
You... Okay.
Would you prefer I give the map to someone else?
No? By all
Lucas?
means.
I trust you completely. Why don't you just continue to guide us, and we will go where we are going, which is where you are leading us, which is where we need to go.
All right then. Just ignore the old man.
Mm-hmm.
I do not. I keep an eye
Yeah.
on him.
I've got one hand on my gun, but otherwise I ignore him.
I'm following right behind Lucas.
I'm taking the back.
You're muted, Alex.
Speaking of, Lucas, can you make me a resist defense roll? You can increase your venture by spending Bene from your intellect pool. This is a magical challenge, and so it will require you to spend Sortilege, because you would need 2 successes. You do not know the level of this effect.
Cool.
They
So
have
I get
+2.
You have +2.
I get +1 to my venture because of the Sooth card,
Yes.
and I also am skilled in resist. So
Okay, so +2, and you can add a third from your intellect pool.
And 2 from the protection from Milana, right?
That was armor, not.
She did 2.
I did 2. I had one
It's
that
1
I did,
armor and 2
Armor?
mental.
and then a +2 against mental damage.
yeah, that's if I.
Oh,
get
this
hit,
is
though, right?
damage.
Oh.
Yeah, this
Well,
is not damage.
It'll still help.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I spend the Bene from my intellect pool, I get an extra dice.
You add 1 to your venture. You
Add 1.
will need to spend 1 from your sortilege pool to roll a second die because it is impossible to succeed with only 1 die.
Gotcha. Okay, I will do that then. So I do that.
All right.
I do that. Rolling 2 dice. My purple one is my magic one.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Oh no! Oh God! I rolled a 1 and a 0.
Oh,
What was the
God.
0 on?
Not the magic dice.
Oh man.
I know, right? God, I should have just said it was.
The least interesting. No, it's fine. So
So I have a
Um,
3 and a 2. Whee!
yeah. Okay. So what happens is that none of you really notice this, but Lucas, you feel a thought just slowly being like pulled out of the back of your mind. You can deduct 1 hidden knowledge from your hidden knowledge pool. And would you care to describe what secret you have lost?
Oh no! I lost another secret.
It doesn't have to be something personal. It could be whatever. Anything that Lucas knows that is hidden knowledge.
I lose the. I lose my memory of the name that. Gosh, what's his name? I forgot his name all of a sudden. The dead bird that my buddy has.
Rin?
Rin, yeah, Rin's dead bird's
Yeah.
name.
Okay.
I forget what that is.
Yeah. I don't particularly remember if I gave the bird a name either. So
You
we've
did
all
not.
lost that memory. Yeah, we've all lost that memory. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, you lose 1 hidden knowledge as you. I would say that would represent sort of like a string you have on Rin, some sort of small power you might have over him. or them rather. But yeah, you lose that, and the only thing of note that happens afterwards is you pass by the old man one more time, who's sort of like holding the head, sort of like tilts it as like a thank you nod.
Wrinkled old weird thing. Okay. This is fine. Everything's fine. Still looking for where we're going.
Sure. If you do not engage with the old man, he's done with you to a large extent. It doesn't take you that much longer to eventually hit the place where you're going, and it is at that point pretty obvious. The further you go into the ruined expanses, the further out, the worse it gets. Buildings that once used to be just like shut up and boarded up, or have like a couple of windows broken out, now are just blasted through to the foundation. But somehow you get out to the middle of absolute nowhere, where the only thing around you is like bricks and grass, and you see this large, relatively pristine-looking house. This large, pale blue, almost like a mansion, that is just looking really nice, just perfect.
Can I see if
Here in the middle of nowhere.
Can I see if there's anybody around?
Sure. Do you want to do a perception task?
Yeah.
You can spend Bene from your perception pool to increase that. I don't know if you have any relevant skills, but
Cartel?
Unfortunately, no.
Dang it.
God, I love that skill.
It is the best skill.
Perception. Oh, my perception's not great. That's fine. D10s. Come here, babies. Come on, honey.
Who would want to live out here?
Perhaps it's the...
I'm rolling 2 die?
You roll 1. If you want to add magic to this task, you can spend 1 from your Soulwitch pool to roll the second dice.
Great.
Second die.
Okay. I think that's gonna be okay. I got an 8.
Okay, yeah, sure. You look around and you're fairly certain that there's, at least outside, nothing in the immediate area that's watching you. You don't really see any creatures nearby or anything like that. It's just kind of, it's pretty dead out here.
Okay. Well, here we are.
Okay, everyone.
We're supposed to go find a glass of wine in...
They just said in the ruined expanses, right?
That's right. And with a house like this in the middle of, well, this place, it seems like as good of a location as any to check.
If I lived here, I would need wine, so... So are we knocking?
Oh no, of course not. If Alex, I would like to scan around and look for a comfortable place to sit.
Oh god.
All right, you can find almost any comfortable place that you'd want to sit that is as comfortable as sitting out in the dirt.
Maybe like a ruined wall or something I can prop my back up
Yeah,
against.
sure. You could find something like that. Yeah.
Perfect. If you all wouldn't mind waiting for just a moment.
We all know where this is going.
Oh,
Just if you could take care to make sure that none of the ruined expanse wolves tear my body apart while I'm away for just a moment. And I'll just sit down and put my back against the brick wall, and I will astral project and float off into the house.
All right, sure. You can spend your sorcery to do that. Are you doing the indefinitely long one or just the 2 per round one?
Sure am. The indefinite one.
Okay, I was going to say.
It's totally worth it just to spend the 5 on that.
Yeah, honestly, it is. So yeah, you are able to sort of zoot your way straight into this house. Long story short, place is very well kept, but almost empty. All the lights are on, and it looks like it looks like the first time you go into like an Airbnb and everything is just sort of like very well made. But it also looks like no one has lived here. The only thing you do notice is you hear voices coming from what, if you head off in that direction, would find to be the dining room, where you find these 17 empty chairs around this long table. And there are 100 identical looking wine glasses on the table.
Well, this is enlightening, and I will zoot back.
You zoot back.
Well, the good news is the house is mostly empty. The bad news is there are a lot of glasses of wine.
Oh God, of course.
Well,
there are.
is that really bad news though, Soren?
I think drink them both and see what happens. It's fine.
Is this a challenge? Because I can drink some wine.
God. How much? How many glasses?
I didn't get an exact number, but I would assume that there are well over 90.
Oh God.
Why?
Okay, well, okay.
No. Okay.
So there's no one inside, or
Well, I heard a little whispering coming from the dining room, but I didn't necessarily see anything.
Just because you don't see anything doesn't mean nothing is there.
Oh, I know.
Yes, but my options are also limited in astral form, so...
Well, let's
Heck,
go
it doesn't
in.
even- Heck, it doesn't even have to be human to have someone in there, so...
That's true. So, are we knocking since we think there's someone inside, or something inside, or voices inside, or are we just walking in?
Lucas?
I'm content with just entering unannounced.
Yeah, why not? I feel
Okay.
like if we just let ourselves in, then, at the very least, if something terrible happens and if someone turns out to be in there, or something turns out to be in there, we say, oh, we didn't realize anyone was here, and so we let ourselves in. Whereas, if we knock and there is someone in there, then we have issues.
Asking for forgiveness rather than permission. Shay knows all about that.
Mm-hmm.
Plausible deniability.
After you.
Of course. And I will lead the group to the door and see if it's unlocked.
All right, you approach the door, and as you open the unlocked door, and I presume walk in, we will play our fourth Sooth card of the night. On the Indigo Sun, we play the Misremembered Dream. This has a value of 1 associated with mysteries, rats, mirrors, and stones. So, Mindy, you have a +1 to all of your ventures until the next card pull, meaning confusion, mistakes, and changes in identity. So you come into the house, and it's pretty much exactly as I described. It's this very well-kept, empty place, and you can hear the sort of like low din of, it seems like conversational volume voices coming. This is going to be from your right, on the right side, which is the direction of the dining room, which has a door sort of like just slightly ajar. You can see light coming in or coming out.
This way. Careful not to knock anything over. Is there like nice rugs or like how fancy are we talking here?
I mean, you live in a public works project, so the comparison here is but it is fairly fancy. It's not like absurd. It's not like marble and like gilded walls or anything like that. But it seems out of most people's price range.
Fancier than Shade
But
and
it's
Sarias?
not. Probably, yeah.
Whatever. I'm not jealous.
Yeah, Shade, as you walk in, you notice, like, oh, this place is so less functional for my
Right.
purposes.
Right?
Soraya, you notice it's probably not dark enough for you.
I don't need. There's too many colors here.
So, where are the cups, Lucas?
This way, and I'll just walk towards the dining room.
Following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you follow. You come into the dining room and you see this long table with 17 empty seats, and you see 100 identical looking glasses full of red wine on the table, and you just hear this low murmur of voices all around you.
That's a lot.
The only other thing you notice is that there's a really large mirror at the end of the wall. Like, when you walk in, on the hanging on the other wall is a very large mirror.
I go to the
Probably like
I,
6 by 6 feet.
I grab your arm and shake my head.
What?
Stay away from it.
Oh, that's right. Mirrors are bad. Keep forgetting that.
I keep an eye on it.
Sure. As you keep an eye on it, could everybody roll me a resist defense roll?
Hey, I've got that as a skill.
This is a magical effect, as most resist things are, so you'll need to spend 1 sortilege to roll 2 dice to make it possible to succeed. And this is of a challenge 6. And you can spend from your intellect pool to add 1 to your venture. And maybe your venture is already at +1 because of the supercard. If anyone has skill in resist, you can add that as well.
So
Flux.
You got a flux minor, I'm assuming?
Minor. I
Minor
can't
flux,
pass
okay.
this.
Sure.
I got a 0 and a 2.
Okay, yeah. So you feel compelled to take a seat at the table.
I'll take a seat at the table.
God.
I got a 0 and a 3. I also have a flux.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
We have a major flux for the whole party too.
Exactly what Lucas got.
Wait, someone paid for a major flux?
Graham
Yeah.
did.
Graham.
Not a
Oh,
major
Graham.
flux, just a
Minor-
normal
The,
Regular
the
one.
$30 one.
The first one.
The
The
first one.
not
minor one? Okay.
earth-shattering one.
The night
Okay.
we're all
Non-grand.
Yes, but I also
Well,
flux.
Okay.
One.
Oh my
the heck?
God! I didn't.
What the hell?
I got a 9!
High five.
Are you
All
fucking
right,
kidding me?
so-
3 fluxes? Fuck y'all.
Camille, how'd you roll?
I got a 9 and a 1.
Oh,
And I have
You
a
feel
plus
compelled
1.
to take a seat at the table.
And I have a. Oh, okay. I said
I
at
got
the
it.
table.
I got an 8 and a 5. No, I got an 8 and a 5.
That would pass it for you because you're
I'm stubborn as fuck.
Yeah, you
yeah.
are.
That would pass it for you because you have a venture that reduces the challenge for you below 5. So yeah, you, Soraya, stand there and watch as everybody else just sort of like goes quiet and like pulls chairs out and begins to sit at the table.
What the hell is going on?
That's
Okay,
a
we're
very
going
good
to-
question.
We're going to quickly break out of linear time here as I describe what each of you see as you take a seat at the table.
Fuck.
Okay.
Camille, if I could get some creepy, weird, sad music going, that'd be great.
Okay.
Oh
Um,
God.
Dark sad? How about dark sad?
Dark sad sounds great. So let's start with Soren. So
That damn dog.
you and Lucas, you find what you came here for. There's a glass of wine. Lucas, goes off doing their thing, and you feel like job well done. Yeah, nice. You head back to your house. You get back to your house in the bottle inside the wooden nickel. You sit down as what you might do to read a book and sort of unwind. And it's only then when you open the book and begin to read that you realize you can't. You're looking at the words and you're looking at the letters, and like you know these shapes. You know that you can do this, but you just can't. And that little absence that was sort of punctured into your personhood as you failed the ritual of the Black Cube, you realize has expanded greatly. And in panic, you try to reach for thoughts, for any sort of complex notion of anything, and you just can't. Everything is all sort of like swimming in this mental sea that is very difficult to grab a solid hold of any sort of mental faculties at the moment. Alana, you find yourself in the dungeon. It's a fairly normal day. It's a fairly normal day. You're just basically sort of hanging out with Shade and Soraya, and at some point a letter arrives for you, and you pop open the letter and you begin to read it. And what is in the letter doesn't really matter so much as what happens when you begin to look out at the world after having read it, because some very familiar things start to happen. You look at Shade, and all of the luster in her eyes is just gone. Her voice is like paper thin and mechanical. Her skin is this dull, pale, inhuman-looking gray. And the world around you just seems false. Lucas, you're at the table. You see the wine. It's great. You take it, you head on back, and suddenly, before you can even recognize the change, everything around you is different. You can't even begin to guess the quantity of time that has passed. Because as a ghost, it doesn't really matter. You look around at this city and you realize you know nobody here. All of these faces, all of these people, there is everything that could possibly exist here. And yet you don't really have any connection to it. And as you make your way back to the house, time only begins to move faster. And so by the time you actually reach your aqueduct, you look and you're holding this empty wine glass. And you look around you and the city is just dead. Whoever lived here moved on a long time ago. And you, for the moment, seem to be the last resident of Satyrine. Wow. And Shade, you go to sleep, and really, it is quite bullshit that you're dead and you still have to sleep. Like, what is this garbage?
That's kind of fair.
And yet, your body still does require to shut itself down for a while. And that is what it does. Unfortunately, tonight is a night in which you don't dream. You lie down and your body locks up as it begins to rest and do whatever it does as you sleep. And you know what? It might have even been better if you were asleep, because then you might have even begun to woke up as you heard these loud thudding footsteps in the dungeon on the second floor where you and Soraya stay. You hear somebody walk right past your door. You hear a struggle in Soraya's room and the eventual sound of a gunshot. And then afterwards you hear the same loud thudding footsteps head straight out the other direction, and all you can do until your body reactivates is watch the blood slowly pool at your doorframe. That's where we're going to take a quick break.
Okay, you're back. Oh baby, I love your madness. Oh baby, I love your madness. Welcome to our Patreon. Here, on Open for Adventure, we are making high-quality Dungeons & Dragons content, folks. We have a great big world to share with you, and by becoming a patron, you can help us explore and expand upon this adventure. With your support, we can invest in more amazing artwork, better mics, fancy cameras, and overall stream quality. Not to mention, help us get some amazing new merch that we can use for giveaways. What do you get by becoming a patron? I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look at the different levels and give you a sneak peek at what you can get at each tier. Did you know that the family of the First Lord Theo, the leader of the rebellion against the Empire, actually invented firearms nearly 25 years prior to the current campaign? The designs for this high-tech weapon are the Delaney family's best-kept secret. Also, they were originally invented by the late First Lady Victoria, Theo's mother. Access to lore leaks like this is what you can expect from the first tier, written in blog-style posts after each weekly session. Ever wondered what goes on off-camera? The next 3 tiers give you exactly that. With Stolen Moments, you can get access to text-based roleplay moments, highlighting experiences that don't make it onto the stream, like Leona's training session with Ray and Asmar. Stolen Moments Plus gives you access to roleplay moments featuring our guests, non-player characters, and historical figures, featuring the likes of Marshall, Annalena, and even the Empress herself. And Roleplay Addiction takes us to a whole other level. This tier gives you exclusive 30-minute videos of canon interactions not otherwise seen on stream, like late-night drunken interactions between paladins or tender moments featuring your favorite character ships. The Warm Fuzzies is super simple. It's everything I've listed so far, and also you get your name on stream after our weekly regular sessions. Every session. And our undying love. And finally, the most epic of all Patreon tiers. Drum roll, please. The Lore Master. This ultimate and final tier gets you first look access at all of the content going into our upcoming, official, Open for Adventure campaign setting. Lore, maps, monsters, items, dungeons, dragons. Go ahead, have a look around, make yourself at home, and consider becoming a patron to help us make this fantasy world a little bit closer to reality.
Oh, hi! My name is Express Love. I'm the Senmarian god of coffee. Did you know that in Senmaria, every cup of coffee is made with found familiar coffee beans? That's canon. In Senmaria, every cup of coffee is good coffee because it's made with love by Found Familiar. Did you know that every bag of Found Familiar coffee features artwork from incredible members of the tabletop gaming community? That's canon. Each blend and roast of Found Familiar coffee features cool D&D names like Thieves' Cant, Face Step, and Pact Magic. In Senmaria, every royal meeting that Ray attends features the Cartographer's Blend, a brew of coffee made by Found Familiar in conjunction with Devon Rue. Now that's canon. Found Familiar coffee. Buy it today.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I hope you had a good break. I hope you got something to eat, something to drink, time to stretch, all that good stuff. Before we get into it, over the break, we pulled our next Sooth card. It is the Unknowable Truth. Magic of the Indigo is enhanced. Magic of the Gray is hindered. Both Alana and Soren have +1 to all of their ventures until the next card pull. And let's hop over to Soraya now, who has just watched all of her friends just sit at the weird wine table.
What are we doing? What? Shade, what? I look down. What do their faces look like? Did they just do this
Blank.
super robotic? Okay.
Yeah, it's very clear that they're not there.
Oh,
Speaking of,
fuck.
as a reflection of our flux, Shade, Alana, Soren, and Lucas, you all lose 2 hidden knowledge from your pool as the nearby hate cyst begins
Regular.
feeding off of your memories.
Cool.
Who lost that?
Everybody.
That was everybody but Soraya.
Oh, great.
Like this memory.
I'm gonna put a hand on Shade's shoulder and try to shake her out of it. Hey, Shade, what the hell? What are we doing? What is wrong with you? Hey, I'm gonna smack the side of her face a little bit.
Yeah, you smack her around and
Not very hard. I mean,
it's not quite as effective as you might hope it'd be.
What? Is there anything in the room that looks like it might be doing this?
Yeah, so what happens is you take a look at the mirror, which is showing the room as it is, except for you. Your reflection is sort of sitting on the edge of the table, legs crossed, holding one of the dinner knives. And your reflection just sort of casually gets up, walks over to Alana, brings the knife to her throat, and just pulls. This doesn't seem to have any effect on real Alana, but your reflection seems to be.
What the?
Can we break out of this?
Can I? God. I'm gonna turn back and I'm gonna. Now I am shaking chairs. I'm trying to pull Shade out of the chair. I'm gonna start with Shade because she can help me figure out the.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull her out of the chair.
Gotcha.
Away from the table.
Sure. Shade, how are you reacting to the illusory world in which you find yourself? I'm assuming at this point your body has woken up. You can now move around freely and do stuff.
I'm basically screaming with rage,
Mm-hmm.
and rushing over to my sister.
Yeah, you run over to your sister and you find her very much how you imagine she found you a while ago.
If that's the case, I'm screaming and shaking her shoulders roughly, almost as if I'm taking out my rage on her corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I know it can't hurt her, but I'm yelling at her and brushing the hair out of her face and shaking her shoulders again. And then I'll grab her and pull her face into my chest and just hold her really tight. And I'll leave like that for a second before I pull my guns out, and I will see if there's any tracks from her blood that I can follow.
Sure. Again, taking a step out of linear time for a moment, you follow these tracks. it feels like in some ways you follow them to the end of the world and back again. You follow them after there's no way you could ever be expected to even see any tracks left. Months go by, years go by, and you keep following. One day, eventually, long time from now, you find yourself standing outside a ramshackle, decrepit little house. It's in Satyrine. It is on the coast, give or take. You can hear the waves in the distance. What do you do as you encounter the space where the tracks end?
I go inside. I bust in
You
the
go
door.
bust inside, and you see the same person who created your situation.
I don't say anything. I pull both guns out and I fire. 10 times.
10 times.
I
All
empty
right.
the chambers.
Yeah, you empty both guns straight into the sky, and he falls. And you are successfully shaken from your state. As you return to reality, you receive 1 anguish. You can cancel that out if you spend 1 from your intellect pool. Alternatively, that's just mental damage that you take, and it gives you a scourge to all of your quality pools.
Okay.
So now you and Soraya are both cognizant.
Does it really feel like it's been all of that time?
Oh yeah. You get up and you feel like you've been doing nothing but hunting for like years on end.
Whoa.
Soraya.
Shit. God. Okay, you're back.
What?
Good.
What am I doing here?
Sitting at a table like a freaking weirdo. Come here. We got to get the rest of them out of these damn chairs. I'm going to Lucas next. Shade.
You're not gone.
What? No, I'm not. I'm here. Where were you? I'm still awkwardly trying to have this conversation while trying to pull Lucas out of their seat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I will dissect that later. Can we please get Alana or Soren? I don't even care. Just get them out of these chairs.
Alana
We'll revisit
and
whatever.
Soren?
Oh my god. Okay.
I'll go to Alana.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll brush the hair out of her face and then pick her up and pull her out of the chair.
Okay. Let's start with Lucas because they were mentioned first. Lucas, how do you engage with the world around you?
Well, it's completely devoid of all other life. Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. If you were to explore the streets of Fartown, you wouldn't see a single living person. You have experienced so much time that you float your ghostly body. If you were to float your ghostly body straight by the dungeon, you would see the impossibly large bones of the dragon that lives in the yard.
Yeah, I probably comb every single inch of the city, just seeing what things have become. Looking through the locations we've been to, checking out the Benighted Song, seeing if there's anything funky going on there. And eventually working my way to where the aqueduct is.
Sure. You explore Fartown, and it is all largely just as desolate as everywhere else in Fartown that you've already seen. You make your way over to the Benighted Song. On the way, you pass by the 73, which has crashed into a building somewhere, and you see that the sort of pocket dimension inside the bus is this like empty, windswept field. You go to the Benighted Song, you might find some remnants of the giant moth that once lived there. You make your way to the aqueduct, and it is there, but your body has long since decayed beyond, even beyond recognition, beyond your ability to like actually find and look at.
It appears I got careless. This could be a bit of a problem. Are there any other spirits nearby?
I would say that you don't immediately sense the only thing that you are capable of perceiving right now is like at the very furthest edges of your hearing, you almost hear Soraya's voice. But then again, she's been dead for thousands of years.
I tap into my phone. That's in the aqueduct. There's a phone.
There is a phone. Yeah, sure.
Is there any conversation on the phone? Anything?
Honestly, no.
So it's just like dial tone?
No, it's like nothing. It's like not even
jeez.
the ghost. It's not even the ghost static. Like you pick up the phone and it's just nothing.
This isn't right. This isn't... Even beyond life, there has to be something. This isn't what I wanted. But, I don't know what to do. I will... You know what? I do. If I can... I'm a ghost. I can float. I'm just going to float up.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Let's just go for it. Out into space.
Sure.
Float up into space.
Okay.
There's nothing here. There's got to be something somewhere, right?
Sure. Yeah, you float your way straight up. You don't really need to breathe, so there's nothing stopping you. You keep going, and I don't really know what the cosmology of Invisible Sun is truly like as far as its relation to height. But I will say that you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, and you're finally up at a sufficient height where you look down and everything is just gray.
My worst fears realized is that my life was devoid of any real meaning, and everything was a lie. Life, death. It's nothing. I surrender to that greatness.
Oh, I'm not muted. What a surprise. Yeah, as you surrender, you feel yourself just sort of fall. There's no gravity pulling you down. Gravity is hardly even a thing. And yet you still just sink. And as you finally succumb to the same fate that the rest of the world succumbed to hundreds of years ago, you find yourself awake, being shaken vigorously by Soraya in this bright, lively room.
God.
What's going on?
God, I don't know. You're alive. Good. Great. Okay. I probably am trying to scramble away from Lucas now to get to Soren, because I imagine Alana and Lucas I come to around the same time. So I imagine,
give or take. Yeah.
Well, actually, if that's the case, then I would. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, I'll still go for Soren.
Sure. As you begin to try to rouse Soren, Alana, how do you deal with the pocket of the gray in which you find yourself?
So what I see is everything is gray and lifeless, and it's a lie. I begin to weave after I look at Shade for a bit. Maybe kiss her forehead. But I don't want to live in a lie anymore. I want to be an indigo, where there's truth and the colors are brighter. I just weave magic to sight and secrets to bring myself there, because I just don't want to live this anymore.
Sure. Yeah. It's like you've done this all over again. You soon find yourself somehow in an even more fantastic and unknowable location than the previous place. It takes years to readjust, to reacclimate, and to just sort of find a life again. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, just when you think you've got a firm grasp on reality, the world you're living in, another letter shows up.
I don't open it. If I recognize it, I don't open it.
Sure.
Any letter I get that I don't recognize goes in a drawer.
Sure. Yeah. You eventually have quite a collection of letters, to the point where you have like these 2 or 3 like filing cabinets just full of letters. And each time you get one, the world around you seems a little less right. But if you put it off long enough, you can shake it off for a bit.
Yeah. I don't want to go back to a life of lies.
Speaking of, though, you do quickly find yourself, after having spent what in your perception is years readjusting to another actuality, being shaken awake by Shade in some weird chair in the middle of nowhere.
I look at you, crying. Shade?
I just pull you in.
Kiss your forehead.
You, and only you would probably say that I'm crying.
I just like to think we're just hugging.
Sure.
And I will definitely try to get Soren out of the chair.
Yeah. Soren, how are you doing?
So, I can't read. Would probably Probably first step would be to go to the bar, see if he could work at the bar for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that wouldn't be fulfilling for very long.
No, it is both not fulfilling and it eventually becomes impossible as you at some point become unable to properly handle prices or transaction as you look at quantities of orbs and you just don't know.
Yeah. I think eventually Soren would find himself unemployed. Probably even more of an alcoholic than he already is. Very depressed. And would probably try to go stand in front of the 73 bus again.
Sure. The bus comes as it always does. This time Alana is not around. Fortunately, though, instead of an impact, you find yourself sort of jolted awake by Soraya, who is vigorously shaking you. Even though you definitely still have the memory of months, years of just destitution.
Hey, you back? What the hell happened to you all? And I'll kind of look at all of them because I see that even though I can't see necessarily faces of Alana and Shade, that they're having a moment because, and I saw the look on Lucas's face when they kind of came to. What the hell?
After probably a couple minutes, I want to look around and reassess.
Sure. You find yourself in the same room, same 100 wine glasses, same 17, once again, empty seats. You also, like Soraya, now notice that your reflections in the mirror are doing odd things. No two of you see the exact same behaviors in the mirror, but it's all basically you doing sadistic and unspeakable things to your friends.
I want to weave.
I do too.
Sure.
I want to weave energy and obfuscation. I want to cloud the mirror.
I want to weave.
Okay, sure. I like that.
I want to weave.
Okay. How much sorcery are you going to be putting into this?
How much do I need?
I will say, I'll just go out and say it that you would need that this will be of a challenge 8. And so any sorcery you put into this will be reducing the challenge by that number of sorcery, and then you roll for it.
I'll do 4 sorcery.
4, all right. Then you would need to roll for. You need to be 4 or greater.
7 and 9.
7 and 9, great. All right, yeah. You're watching as your reflection is just committing horrible, unspeakable acts on the rest of the group, but the mirror just goes dark. It's sort of like it's like a vignette. It just sort of like fades inward until eventually it's just black piece of glass.
Wordlessly, as Shade does that, I hold out my hand, saying nothing, and I will weave destruction and strength to just turn it to dust.
Okay, sure.
10
how
sorcery.
Much sorcery? All right, great. We're going for the gold. Let me quickly, actually, because it might not crumble. Let me quickly find out what quantity of damage you can do with 10 sorcery.
I am the look on my face right now is what you see.
Sure. Yeah. You don't. It doesn't quite crumble, but it's real cracked. It is very, very, very badly damaged, and you almost hear the cracks in the glass as like these shrieks of pain. It is very much nearly destroyed, but it's just not, ever so slightly not quite there yet.
I will breathe. And I will do it again.
All right.
Alana, let it go.
Do you do it again?
I will not.
All right.
Soraya, what are we doing here?
Well, I thought we were trying to find a glass of wine. I'm still like scanning faces for like a hint of whatever the hell they just experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Because the responses are all different. So I can't tell if they all saw the same thing, if they all saw something different. Shade apologized, so I'm guessing probably different. But I thought we were here to find a glass of wine.
Sorry, I forgot.
It's been a while.
Has
Right.
it?
Yes.
That's why we're here, isn't it?
Where did you all go?
I will wordlessly pull out my wicked key from my pocket.
Mhm.
And I would like to hold it towards the glasses, and I would like the wine to drain from the incorrect glasses as I turn the key in the air.
Okay, sure. I like that. So what happens is you extend your hand out into the air, like a keyhole just sort of like melts into reality in front of you. And you turn your wicked key. And as you do, reality sort of like swings open on a hinge. And you see like a little like a spout or a spigot. And you can turn it. And as you open the spout, all the sort of liquid drains out from all of the glasses except for one, which is sort of towards like the head of the table, sort of like the last one out there.
There. Problem solved. Not that it matters. And I walk towards the glass.
It's definitely whispering. You can sort of hear it, but it's also, especially in your state, unless you pay attention and make an effort to listen, it's just sort of like garbled whispers.
The fact that there's noise after so long of nothing, I'll probably be listening to it.
Okay, sure.
In tune, trying to hear what's being said because it sounds nice to my ears.
Yeah. No, you hear all of these whispering voices saying things to the effect of like, what's happening? Who are you? Where are we going? What's going on? Stuff like that. I don't know if my mic caught that, so you can just say.
Great. Cheers, everyone.
Are we ready to go?
I am.
Let's go.
Guess we leave.
I want to look at. I'm staring at that mirror the entire time as we leave. You do anything before we leave? safely, you're gonna wish a lot of things.
This is very clearly I don't really want to call it an object, something of great power. But as you threaten it, the hate cyst does begin. You feel like it just recoils in on itself.
Oh wait, is the mirror a hate cyst?
Yep.
Oh fuck.
I want
Alana,
to...
would you like a joy?
This isn't a joyous occasion.
Well, I'm saying that because I'm going to give you a joy, because there is one other thing that is happening right now. You do feel a sort of like... Are you right or left-handed?
Let's go with right.
Right. You feel a sort of like itch, like a... Not nearly the sort of compulsion that force you to take a seat at the table, but a sort of muscle memory. As your hand just slowly gravitates toward the hilt of your sword.
I'll put my hand on it, but I'm not going to draw it. There will be a time and a place, but it's not now. I'm saying this out loud.
Sure.
Are we clear?
Actually, do you know what, Alana? You're right.
About what?
Take it down. I'll draw my guns and fire 10 rounds. All 10 rounds into the mirror.
Do you mind if we roll that as a single die roll, because I
Sure.
don't want to do 10?
Of course.
Yeah, sure. So this will be of a challenge 8. It requires magic, so you'll need to spend sortilege, and you can spend Bene from your accuracy pool.
Oh, I can do that. I will spend 4
Yes.
Bene from my accuracy pool.
Oh, you can only spend 1 Bene at a time.
I will spend 1 Bene from my accuracy pool. Come on, honey.
And your guns have a level as well, so they'll be bringing down a challenge as well.
Do you remember what level we said my guns are?
I'm pretty sure they're 4.
Okay.
That's standard for a pistol. So your venture is at a 5.
So I rolled 2 6s, and then
Oh shit.
1 plus 1 for my accuracy, and they're level 4.
Yeah. So no, that'll do it. That definitely does it, because it's challenge 8, and your guns are level 4 to begin with. So yeah, you fucking blast the thing. As the mirror actually begins to, well, as the creature that is the mirror actually dies, you see this like thick viscous black fluid just sort of like seep out from the sort of panel behind the mirror. As it does, all of the rest of the wine glasses on the table just vanish. The house you're in suddenly looks like it matches very much with the surroundings. It is old, ruined, and decrepit. And if you're still standing in the dining room, you would notice that specifically the dining room has no ceiling or roof. It's just open sky, and you look up and there are just like bodies just hanging, floating in the air above the dining room.
Can I take a shard of glass?
From the cyst, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I want to squeeze your shoulder.
Sorry,
And
I should have let you do that.
letting you do it would have been a mercy. I want to grab your hand, and I'm going to gently, if Soren will let me, loop my arm through his arm And I'll give Soraya a look to like get Lucas.
I don't know what's going on, but I just saw what you just did, so I will. And it's Lucas, so sure.
And I'll slowly lead everyone out.
You head on out. As compared to what you just experienced, nothing really in the ruined expanses seems like that much of a threat at the moment. For a variety of reasons. One, because of just like the challenges you've just endured, and also because there's, at the moment, just something of an aura, a collective energy about you that is, you notice like creatures like on the periphery of your vision, on the sort of far end of what you can perceive, and they're watching you back in a way. And eventually you make your way back to the Confederacy of Cloisters, and if you have any business there, back onto the train.
I sit next to Soraya.
I get indignant for a minute, and then I see the look on your face, and I don't say anything. Actually, ew. I'm gonna reach for your hand and give it a squeeze.
Whoever I'm next to, whether it's Soren or Soraya or Shade, I offer my hand to anyone who wants to hold it.
Soraya.
Yeah.
How long were we out?
Less than 5 minutes, right? GM. Less.
Oh yeah. No, like
It was
yeah,
very short.
not-
It was very brief. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A couple of minutes. A few. Less than 5.
Years.
Definitely not years.
Years.
Hundreds of lifetimes.
Thank you for waking me.
Wish I'd been able to do it sooner.
It's been a long time since I've seen you. Missed your stupid face.
It's weird. I'm not entirely sure if that was meant as a compliment.
What are we doing now?
Well, we have the glass of wine, so Lucas, you need to get it to the
Yes, I need to get it to the painting, and I suddenly realize I do not know where the painting is.
well,
This is fine. I just wait for them to summon me again. And I work out those details with the painting then. But for now, I have what it wants. And it has what I want. So I'm set.
I'm occasionally looking at everybody. In turn. This is gonna sound silly, but do we want to all stay at my place tonight?
I'll stay.
How would Mrs. Nusselt feel about that if we were all there?
Oh God.
I feel like that would be problematic.
I'll handle her. Or we can go to your place, or we can go to the dungeon. I don't really care. I just don't think any of us should be alone right now after that.
Sure.
Lucas.
I would make poor company.
I think the same could be said about me.
Let
I'm
me
not a-
rephrase that. I will not make lively company.
Do you ever?
Not if I can help it.
Because that was the only reason we were keeping you around, so. You should stay anyway.
I'm worried about all of you.
Let's go and regroup and get some food. Starving.
All right.
Yeah, food would be good.
Maybe I'll go start a bar fight or something.
How about we don't go to a bar right now?
Alright.
Okay. Maybe a cup of tea.
Idle chit-chat.
Yeah. And then, if I remember right, I think we still need to go talk to Pontiff. We'll do that next day or two.
Right.
I guess we head to one of our places.
Just following wherever the group is going, because y'all acting
Gotcha.
like way quieter than me right now, and I don't know what to do with that.
Then I'll bring everyone to my place.
Sure.
If
As
Mrs.
you come
Nussel is there.
Mrs. Nussel like looks at you, and you can see she's about to open her mouth, but then she just like she fucks off. With about 35 minutes left, we get to do a couple more scenes and then wrap this session up.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, Soren, how would you like joy?
For what?
For something that's about for something that's about to happen. So when I asked that question, it's
sure.
really me saying I'm going to give you a joy for something that is about to occur. It's
All
actually
right.
not me.
Alex feels
Asking-
bad.
All right,
It's
sure,
not
let's
me
do it.
asking about whether you want it. It's me saying it's coming.
No, I feel
Um,
terrible right now. Sure, lift my spirits.
Yeah, sure. So it's not tonight, but a few nights from now, you wake up in the middle of the night and something feels weird. Not upsetting or disturbing weird, but there's just an unusual energy. You might know this just simply by being a Thistle and sort of force of will. You also, if you were to check the clock, you would realize that you have woken up in the hour that exists before, that exists after 12, but before 1. You have woken up during the witching hour, which, broadly speaking, has been erased from existence, but it was a very messy process, and so people can wake up during this hour infrequently, and just happens.
Yeah.
But in any case, you wake up in the hour that exists between 12 and 13. And as this is a good hour for magic, and as I imagine this might be something that has been on your mind, probably before the Ruined Expanses, if nothing else, you get a bit of an idea. And a thought just comes to you, and you had a magical practice, am I right, for creating for finding true names?
Well, yeah, that's what my theory is about, but I haven't quite gotten all of the pieces to fit together yet. I was kind of trying to find a missing element.
Sure. So what happens is that as you wake up during the witching hour, you have conceived of that missing element. And in a rush of sort of cognitive activity, you are able to sort of put together a magical practice. You can add a general spell, because this is not Vancian, because I'm not going to fuck with the Vancian progression system right now. You can add a general spell to your grimoire. This is a level 7 spell. And I will allow you to name it because it is your spell. But this is a level 7 spell, which will allow you to identify the true name of something nearby.
All right. Yeah, I think after a breakthrough like that, Soren would probably spend a couple of hours kind of studying and working and writing, but eventually when he does go back to sleep, he would feel very satisfied for once.
Lucas, you go home and you have a pet glass of wine. It continues to whisper, as it does. And well, do you engage with it? Do you speak to the wine glass?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I will as I walk through the door to the aqueduct and the control room, and I just kind of force my way down the stairs towards where my mattress is, kind of in a corner. I will set the glass down on the rough stone floor and just kind of sit down on the mattress and like slump a little bit, and I'm just looking at the glass, kind of placed within arm's reach but just on the ground nearby. And sure. I'll just say to the glass, "What are you?"
The glass replies to you, because I'm not sure about the audio integrity of me whispering at my microphone. The glass informs you that it no longer understands what it is. The glass informs you that it has been in the presence of the mirror for a very long time.
What do you do?
The glass replies to you that it does nothing, but it is power.
Power for what?
Anything.
anything. Everything?
Anything. Not everything.
Everything is anything, isn't it?
Anything is one everything. It's not everything.
Look at me philosophizing with Yes, that's a word. Philosophizing with a friggin' wine glass. I'll kind of pick the glass up and hold it up.
It smells good. If you enjoy the smell of good wine.
How would one claim this power?
Claiming the power is a deadly process. Claiming the power would necessarily kill the god in the wine glass. However, that power could be lent.
Power can be lent, or it can be taken. What would one need to do to be lent power?
Drink the wine.
Sorry, GM. Clarifying question. Wouldn't that kill the... Didn't you just say that would kill them? The what?
Didn't I say that claiming the power would kill?
Claiming the power would kill.
Yes. No, that's a more complex process than just consuming the wine. Basically, you're understanding by just consuming the wine and not bringing any magical bullshit into it, you're processing the physical matter that is the wine. And all the other stuff kind of gets let go out into the ether.
Gotcha. Hypothetically, you wouldn't tell me how to claim your power, would you?
No.
You may have forgotten who you are, but you haven't forgotten how to self-preserve. Wonderful. Well, I'm going to take a sip.
You take a sip. It's very nice. It's kind of tingly. In a beyond just this is alcohol sort of tingly.
Do I feel anything?
You feel tingly.
Well, besides tingly. I don't think it worked.
You have to drink all of the wine.
Oh, I can't do that. I need to give you to a painting.
The wine kind of questions why.
Well,
What is this painting?
Quite frankly, I don't know and I don't care. All I know is that it has... I'm far too trusting. Could you give me the power to kill someone if I consumed you? A whole group of people? An organization?
Do you get the sense that this is not something that the wine would like to do, but it could?
Perfect.
It asks you why. Who do you want killed?
A group of folks who would like to destroy my home. A center for spirits. A conduit. We're sitting in it.
The wine asks if they have to be killed.
Oh, what suggestion would you have? Turn them to ghosts? Banish them to the gray? Shoot them into space?
Tell them to find a new hobby.
Please. They're far too dedicated to their craft to turn around that easily.
The wine thinks you're underestimating it.
How long does your power last?
Until it's used.
I can work with this. I'll probably just spend the rest of the evening just talking to this wine glass.
Sure. Yeah. You would realize that the god in the wine glass is a kind of playful little thing. It's very childlike in a way, but not like creepy The Shining childlike. It's just, it wants to be happy.
So I suppose I'll just have one more question. What do you want to do?
Rather than hear whispers, instead you sort of see these like swimming illusory images. You see you see carvings of this like host of vaguely humanoid looking creatures and hundreds of people in front of these carvings, sort of worshipping and acting with the highest of reverence towards these carvings. You see places of worship in which, from anything you can tell, it seems like they're not bad places. It seems like they help people. It seems like they feed people. They clothe them. They shelter them.
Charity. Charity makes you happy. It's what you want to do.
Yes.
I see. I can work with this. And I'll probably, after talking for so long, turn in and rest because I'm bushed.
Sure. Over the next few days, how would you like to complete your arc?
Oh, gods. I'm almost of a mind. to look for a ritual to harness that power and replace the wine glass. Or at least take its power so that it just spitballing terrible idea. Try and claim that power so that I can do what I want and then do what it wanted. But barring being if I am unable to find a ritual to do so easily, I will wait patiently for my next meeting with the jerks.
Sure. Yeah, no, I information like that would not be easily found. To find information like that would be an art unto itself. A ritual that would allow you to steal the power of a god is not something easily accessible. Keeping in mind that the power has still been offered to you on loan. You wait. Are you a ghost or are you in your physical form? 6 days from now. The next meeting is.
I suppose I'd have to verify if I could use the power as a ghost with the wine glass.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I'll borrow the power and set myself up for a nice nap and wait for my next meeting.
Sure. Yeah, 6 days. Or the rest of the 6 days, however long we spent, time is irrelevant. It's meaningless both in Invisible Sun and in real life right now. But that's not the point. You are, as expected, on time, promptly sort of summoned out of your aqueduct and into your little encumbrous triangle in the same small extra-dimensional office space. Everyone sort of looks at you expectantly.
Hello again.
Hello, Renchester. Have you made a decision?
Yes, I have.
And
I just
that
stare.
would be...
See, I did some searching, and I've come to the conclusion that nothing I do will be satisfactory to you. Will it?
I found our terms to be quite understandable. We just want you to leave.
Yes. Such vague terms, leave. I have a counter proposal.
And what would that be?
Rolling a dice to determine how I want to. Okay, good. I call upon this power that I have, and I can kind of feel that tingling feeling again, kind of coursing through my, which is ridiculous because I'm a ghost. I can feel it coursing through my incorporeal form. So they probably see like a weird shimmering effect going on.
Yeah.
And I look this person in the face and I say, you and your associates pack up all of your business in Saturnine and you leave me and my aqueduct alone for the rest of your lives. And as I speak, my tongue turns silver with this power, and it kind of like elongates and flows like like Terminator, and and it kind of like snakes across the floor and like crawls up their leg and kind of winds its way into their ear holes, I guess. I don't know. We're doing some brain stuff here.
Sure.
And
yeah.
and I don't know how powerful or nebulous this can be, but I would also like it to affect the other people in the room / anyone else that it possibly could that belongs to the same fucking organization.
Okay. Do you mind if I describe this overarching real fast?
Yes.
Because there's some wide-ranging effects here. Or, you know what I mean? There are repercussions. Anyway, so the leader of the Revelation, this group that has accosted you, you see her eyes just like flash this maroon wine color. Just for a second. She sort of smiles, stands up, extends a hand out to you. I find those terms acceptable.
I would shake your hand, but I am a ghost.
I see. Well, pleasure doing business with you. And you're sort of dismissed. And over the next couple of months, it's not like big news, but you do hear just little bits of gossip and little rumors that this former criminal organization out of the Hollows that used to like do almost everything to kill people has now dedicated almost their entire set of resources to like charities and clinics and homes and stuff like that.
Perfect. I love it.
All right. Well, that is the completion of your arc. You have successfully defended your home, the Aqueduct. You receive 1 joy and 4 acumen. And that is beyond other joy and despair you might earn for the session as a whole. And I think that's all we've got for tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Can I do one more thing before we go?
Yes, you can.
The first night after we get back, I want to take Alana kind of to the side.
You probably don't need... I've probably been glued to your side this whole time. My head's on your shoulder.
Alana.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since you stayed with me. Since before we got back.
You're right.
didn't want to press you or suggest anything because I was afraid that you weren't ready, which is terribly presumptuous of me. I guess I just didn't think that I was ready.
I'm smiling a bit. And instead of saying anything, I'll just kiss your forehead. Let's go home. You're home.
I'm proud of you.
I couldn't have done it without my friends and you.
Am I not your friend?
Maybe both. You deserve a lot of credit, but
Both friend and?
partner? Unless you prefer the term girlfriend.
I think I do.
I'll just squeeze your hand.
You better get ready, Alana. You're not leaving my sight for a long time.
I'm aware.
Let's go home.
And with that, I think we can call this episode. Yeah, all good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, great. Now let's go around and quickly do EXP, and then we can go around and outro ourselves. So going in order of the Zoom call. Camille, how do you think Shay did tonight?
Oh, there's a lot of ups and downs. I don't know if the dream counts for progressing on my arc.
I would say it does.
Then yeah, I progressed on both arcs, technically. Yeah. And I would ordinarily, I think until the last moment, say despair. But that last little bit has me thinking joy.
Yeah, I think that's entirely reasonable.
Okay.
All right. So you can earn 4, I think. I think it's 3. Yeah,
You've been
3
giving me
acumen.
3, yeah.
Yeah, then 3 acumen and 1 joy.
Thanks.
Mare, how do you think Alana did tonight?
In terms of assisting Shade and Soraya, I don't think we did much on that time. This round.
Okay.
But on my arc, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Big. So joy or despair, the whole episode was depressing. I'm going with despair.
Yeah. No, that's fair. So yeah, you can have 2 acumen and 1 despair. Soraya, how do you feel about tonight?
I don't really think she made any progress on her arc tonight. And then, I think it's probably a despair. There wasn't anything super like, oh my gosh, look at this, it was great.
Yeah, sure.
And friends like twice, and then I was worried about them. It's weird. So I'm taking a despair.
Sure, yeah. Josh, how do you think Soren did tonight?
I think we saw some significant progress with the arc. But I feel like that little victory at the end there doesn't outweigh the fact that, he's struggling.
Oh yeah.
Struggling with that.
No. Yeah. No, that's reasonable. So do you think I despair?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I should have said that out loud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. No, that's fair. So yeah, you can take 2 acumen and 1 despair.
All right.
And Lucas, we've already discussed the rewards from your arc, but broadly for the entire session, do you think you earned a joy or despair?
Oh, I mean, broad strokes. This is a really tough one because that bleak dream was super rough, but I think resolving everything may be enough to take another joy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think that'd be reasonable, especially because you resolved it. Okay.
Sorry, it's just a real toss-up for me because I could argue either way.
Entirely
so
fair. Yeah, you could. Yep. So yeah, you don't even necessarily have to say now. If you come to me 2 days later and you're like, "Oh, I think differently," then that's fine. But yeah, then that's really it for tonight's session of Invisible Sun. We'll go around and introduce ourselves, talk about favorite moments and stuff. Hi. Hello, everybody. My name is Alex. I've had a great time being the GM tonight. When I'm not running Invisible Sun, you can find me playing Paladin on D&D 5e game run by Camille, who's down in that direction. On Sundays from 4 to 7 Eastern time, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot less depressing than this most of the time, and it's great. And yeah, come watch that. As far as favorite moments, I had a lot of them. There were just so many really strong character moments, but because I think a lot of those are going to come up in other places, I'm going to say that my favorite moment was a toss-up between throwing shade as a 20-pound cat or Camille's description of this dog that floats around on a suitcase and could talk, but just barks because it gets better attention that way. Like that's just the mood. So yes, that's all I've got for tonight, and I'll pass it over to Camille.
Hi, I'm Camille. You can find me on Twitter at CamilleDoesD&D. You can find me, fuck me. You can find the channel on Twitter at Open4Adventure. Give us a follow on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Join our Discord. It's a lot of fun. I make dice trays sometimes. They're pretty cool. They're made of wood. Several people have one. Oh yeah, Mare has the very first one that was ever branded. And Ren has one of the very first ones I ever made. And yeah, it's a good time. I'm rambling. My favorite part of tonight's session honestly was like those fucking whack-ass goddamn futures that we experienced. I know that was like, you could feel I'm gonna go on about this in callouts, but like the whole energy of the campaign just changed in an instant, and it was so fucking cool and really powerful, and I loved it. I know it sucked, but I loved it. Got me in my feels. That's it for me.
I can go next. Hi, I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. When I'm not here having my heart broken on Thursdays, you can find me on Fridays at 6 p.m. Central here playing Sunsets on Summer, our Elder Scrolls campaign. And my favorite part, I didn't forget this week. Dog. The dog.
Hi, I'm Ren. I'm going next. you can find me on Twitter at Thorny Dryad, like a prickly bush. And when I am not here on Thursdays, I am here on Sundays as part of Sunday Friends, a D&D campaign. And I am also the voice of a character called 8 in a podcast called Roads Uncharted. You can give us a listen on any of your favorite streaming audio services. Mostly, just kidding. It's iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. So if you're looking for anything else, forget about it. Give us a listen. And my favorite part of the evening was I really liked, I mean, there was a whole lot of stuff to really like, but I really liked the feeling from Alana's dream life, where she's just collecting letters and ignoring them. And I thought that was like super, super powerful for me. Like it just felt really, really strong for me. So that's probably my favorite thing.
Nice. Hey, hi, what's up? I'm Josh. You can find me on the internet at Joshua M. Simons, except for here on Twitter, or here on Twitch, where they stole my M. It's okay. Yeah, I haven't given Camille a text for a command yet. That's on me. Anyways, what do I do? Sometimes I do like game design for supplements. I tweet a lot. That's just honestly, just if you care anything about anything I do, just Twitter's the place. But yeah, sometimes I do like some fun Disney inspired D&D games on my Twitch channel. We had one yesterday that you can also find on the YouTubes if you don't want to watch it on Twitch, but you're here already, so it's easier to just pop on over, you know what I mean? Anyways, yeah, that's me. My favorite moment of tonight's session was probably the moment when Shade sat down next to Soraya on the train on the way home, and I think that might have been the first like moment of like tenderness that the party has seen between the two of them.
Oh God, you saw that? Hi, I'm Mindy. I had the joy of playing Soraya tonight. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, all the good things at MKAY1713. I stream games sometimes. I don't know. I also play a very different character Monday nights here on Open for Adventure, 7:30, 6:30 Central Time. Sorry, I was in my time zone. And this Saturday at the normal time of First Dawn, which I believe is 10:30 Central Time, Alex and I will be hosting Fourth Watch, where you can ask all of your questions to the First Dawn cast and DM. It's going to be really great. It's going to be really emotional. Join our Discord. Send your questions to Alex or I, or post them in the Fourth Watch category board thing. I don't know how
Channel?
this works. I just work here. I don't even channel. That's the word. Anyway, you can also check out our Patreon and become a Warm Fuzzy. So our Warm Fuzzies are, wow, my brain just went Blake Belchavez.
Belchavez.
And then we have Andrew Belch for the Tables Bay of Good.
Bay of Good.
And then we have Orion. And then we have Gamer Lives.
Gamer Lives with the 1 and a 3.
And then we have Mitch D.
Mitch.
D.
And then we have our newest Warm Fuzzy, Quincy.
Quincy.
We love our Warm Fuzzies and they get all of our love. Take this little heart and put it in your soul.
That was
Like
so
a little
cute.
birdhouse.
Anything? Do you have anything else, Alex?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Oh wait, has everybody gone?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. I know what I'm doing.
Start us off.
All
I'm
right.
wrapping us up.
Well, then that is it for today. We have 2 more sessions of Invisible Sun.
Right.
No skis.
Will Shade finally kill her person?
Will Shade finally be not dead?
Who knows?
Who knows?
If Shade doesn't do it, Alana is.
I'd be dead.
Soraya
Be
won't.
dead?
That's a lot of work, and I don't have. I'm busy.
Have a demon do it.
Will everybody complete their arc?
That's fair.
Who knows?
Will everybody complete? But 1 arc down.
1 arc down, 4 to go.
Where to go?
Well,
Is it? It's not
6 to go? Whatever.
6 to go.
Whatever.
Yeah, 6. That's
I just
right.
It's fine.
Okay, we're ending the stream. I love you. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was like a nice little chord. You'll hit.